How big is this fight, George?
This fight is big.
This is the super fight that we've been waiting for.
This is about pride. This is about dignity.
Something has to give. This is a great matchup.
I expect a high-paced, exciting fight.
This is the type of fight that can go either way.
We're going to have some great fun.
The following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
New York City. It's a place that works harder, moves faster, and shines brighter. A heavyweight in its own right. Tonight, the Big Apple welcomes back world champion Vladimir Klitschko.
Boom! That's what heavyweights are supposed to do.
The Ukrainian superstar has held a piece of the heavyweight title for nearly a decade. 17 straight successful title defenses, the third longest streak in division history. For the first time in 7 years, the now universally recognized champion returns to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, hoping to continue his dominance and his stranglehold on the division. His opponent, undefeated Bryant Jennings. The 30-year-old rises from co-feature to top billing in his return to the big room.
That's going to be a knockout victory for Bryant Jennings. Bryant Jennings remains unbeaten and puts himself in position for a possible title shot.
This time, the Philadelphia native has a chance at the coveted crown, and paved the way for an American resurgence in boxing's most storied division. The stage is set. Two of the world's best face off under Broadway's brightest lights. Klitschko versus Jennings is next. Time in 7 years to continue defending the heavyweight championship that he's held ever since 2005. He's closing in on the longest streaks of successful title defenses ever in the division, behind only Larry Holmes, and he's getting close to Holmes at this point and off in the distance. Joe Louis, the longest streak ever in any division in boxing. It is not out of the question that Klitschko, if he continues his success here tonight, could ultimately threaten that record. And before we see Vladimir Klitschko in against unbeaten American challenger Bryant Jennings, a welterweight fight between United States Olympian 2008 vintage Saddam Ali, a local hero from here in Brooklyn, against Francisco Santana of California, who's fighting out of California or Las Vegas for the very first time in his 27-fight career. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Saddam Ali against Francisco Santana. And you will see that there's an age advantage for young Ali, who is 2 years younger than Santana. Height advantage to Santana, 1.5 inches taller. Arm length advantage to Santana, 2.5 inches longer, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in under 147, and here's the fascinating number. Tonight, Saddam Ali has rehydrated up to a fairly normal 153 pounds. Somehow, Francisco Santana put on more than 20 pounds overnight, and he brings into the ring on our unofficial HBO scale a 14-pound functional weight advantage over Ali. Francisco Santana grew up in a seemingly idyllic Southern California beach community, but to the young Francisco, the locale didn't make life any easier. Let's take a closer look.
Well, I'm from Santa Barbara, born and raised there. Growing up, I faced a lot of stutters, and I had twitch as well, many twitches. That led to me being bullied as a kid, and which that led me into boxing. It gave me the confidence within myself, just being able to walk around school and knowing even if the kids would try to pick on me, I knew how to defend myself and I knew how to box. It just made me realize, yeah, I might have a nervous twitch, yeah, I might stutter, but at the end of the day, I can still beat them up. Boxing gave me the confidence to be able to not only beat my stutters, but prove to the world that this stutter boy belongs with the elite level.
Santa Barbara's Santana fought most of his professional career in the 154-pound weight class, moved down several fights ago to welterweight. That may help to account for his ability to put on 20 pounds overnight and bring into the ring that functional 14-pound weight advantage we earlier discussed with you. Meanwhile, while Saddam Ali has fought almost all his professional bouts in the New York, New Jersey area, used to be his own promoter, as a matter of fact, this will be his first appearance in the big room at Madison Square Garden. A dream come true for the Brooklyn native. Let's take a closer look.
I'm from Canarsie, Brooklyn, New York.
We are in my neighborhood. This is my house, and this is where people know me from. I grew up in this house since I was 2 years old, and I haven't moved yet because I'm comfortable. I like it here.
Growing up there, you know how it is in Brooklyn, it's tough. So you gotta stay out the streets, stay focused with something, and it happened to be boxing. I fought in the Golden Gloves 2006, 2007. Was in the theater at Madison Square Garden, and I won both times. It meant a lot to me. Going back to the Garden is an amazing feeling, and this time, in the big arena, it's bringing me some butterflies. I'm just ready to go out there and shine in front of everybody.
Being a Brooklyn guy, I have a lot to stand for. I got the guys coming up that came up back in the days, Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe, all the other names. I have to stick to that and keep that alive. Because I mean, some people are saying that it's dying a little bit, so I'm trying to keep Brooklyn alive.
In his last appearance on the undercard of Bernard Hopkins versus Sergey Kovalev in Atlantic City, November 8, Ali scored a thrilling upset knockout victory over Argentina's Juan Carlos Abregu to set himself up for this opportunity. Momentarily, I'll be joined at ringside by Max Kellerman and Roy Jones for the call of the fight. Now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Madison Square Garden, New York City, New York, USA. And an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment, and it's all live on HBO. It's all presented to you by K2 Promotions in association with Gary Shaw Productions. Sponsored by S. Oliver High Five and Hortitza Vodka. All bouts sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The three judges at ringside scoring this contest will be John Basile, Alan Rubenstein, and Don Trella. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Danny Schiavone. And now from Madison Square Garden, New York City, 10 rounds of boxing. This is for the WBA International and WBO Intercontinental Welterweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray and official weight, 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record an outstanding one, 22 victories, only 3 defeats, with 1 draw and 11 big wins by knockout. From Santa Barbara, California, USA, he is the WBA International Welterweight Champion, Francisco Chia Santana. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, white, and blue, officially weighing in at 146 3/4 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one, consisting of 21 fights, 21 victories, including 13 knockouts. From Brooklyn, New York, USA, the undefeated WBO Intercontinental Welterweight Champion, Saddam World Kid Ali.
Bring it in.
Fellas, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Keep the bout clean. Touch them up. Get back to your corners. Good luck.
Saddam Ali, because of his amateur career here in New York especially, was already a name, but made himself a legitimate contender with his knockout over Abregu. Santana here He's fought and beaten some tough guys to get this fight, but he wants to make a name for himself against Saddam Ali.
Two of Santana's 3 losses were against the very tough Kareem Mayfield. The third was against another former American Olympian, Jermell Charlo. So he has quality losses to go with the wins, and recently he's been something of a knockout puncher.
And I'm sure the loss to Charlo was at 154, so
it was.
This is a big adjustment.
Another adjustment he's making is Santana sometimes likes to lay back a little bit, but knows against Saddam Ali he has to pressure, and he's come out pressuring.
Roy, what do you think the knockout over Abregu as an underdog will have done for the mental state, the confidence of Saddam Ali?
Well, it did a lot for Saddam Ali because it let him know that he can compete with the best. And Abregu is not the best, but he's on that scale of, he's kind of like one of those doormen, one of the guys that you have to beat to make yourself a known name in that particular division, a doorkeeper.
Abregu had earlier wrecked the unbeaten record of rising Puerto Rican prospect Thomas Delorme, and a lot of people expected him to do the same thing to Saddam Ali, but he really didn't have much that night, wasn't energetic. Ali took advantage and ultimately knocked him out, had 2 knockdowns in the fight, both of them off of right hands.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to do that to Saddam Ali. And this kid is actually making it a much more interesting fight for Ali. He's hit Ali and Ali's hit him. This is a very interesting fight, and this is the way a guy's supposed to fight a kid like Ali who's really good early.
And he's imposing his size. As we saw, he came in as a super middleweight tonight, Santana did, and he's fighting like a super middleweight against a smaller fighter.
Yeah, this is the type of a fight that you would have wanted to see a guy like Canelo Alvarez fight when he fought Floyd Mayweather. If you have a big weight advantage, try to take advantage of it. Although it may not work, you still got to try it. Good body shot by Santana.
Santana fighting as the aggressor so far. Stalking Ali around the ring. Ali moving and sticking.
What Ali showed against Abregu, and he's shown it in moments here, is that he's not just one of these fast, flashy guys. He's a sharp puncher.
Exactly. And that's very important, Max, because when you fight a guy like Santana, you have to be able to do something to make him stay away from you or protect himself while he's coming all out after you.
Good hard left hook by Saddam Ali inside.
Yep, and Santana landed a nice little right hand of his own.
Good thing about Santana here is that he knows what he's up against.
Right, step back, fellas, step back, let's go.
Meaning what?
Meaning that he knows he's not the better boxer. His only chance is to make this ugly, get close and try to land something to make a difference in this fight early, because if he doesn't, Saddam Ali is much too good to try to box him. You got to remember, he was the guy who watched Saddam Ali win some of those national championships as an amateur. He always knew that after the first night, he was done. So he knows he's not the boxer that Ali is.
Good stuff in that first round out of both guys.
Yeah, hard body shots at the end of the round for Santana. Ali showed his excellent footwork and counterpunching skill through much of the round. It was an excellent first round.
Danny, up on that side. Okay, listen to me. Very important. Don't make this no harder than it gotta be, baby, okay? All right? Keep the jab in his face. Keep him in the middle of the ring. He wants to try to rope you. That's what he's looking.
1-2-5. Then you can go downstairs, and don't reach down for a big body shot unless you got him cut off already, because he's sliding out when we're trying to throw those big body shots.
He's sliding to my right?
He's sliding both ways, so touch him here with the stick if you want to rip a body shot first. Okay? Really good work, okay? Really good distance, keeping him closed like that. Close, okay? But I'll take that because we were able to do a lot of good stuff, okay?
Talked about what an excellent first round it was. CompuBox numbers reflecting that. Ali, 19 out of 70. Santana, 16 out of 63. Pretty much even numbers as they traded through much of the first round.
And it's good for him to have a guy like Paul Malignaggi in his corner, because this is the type of a fight that you have to be more of a boxer and a smart boxer, because this guy is really coming forward, putting a lot of pressure on you, and is going to try to wear you down. So you have to be able to preserve yourself and not give him everything that you got in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Good job, Roy, introducing a key story for Ali. He has been recently advised very intensively by Paulie Malignaggi. In fact, He spars with Malignaggi and says that as he spars with Malignaggi, Malignaggi talks him through the sparring sessions and constantly gives him pointers about what he ought to be doing.
Yeah, and that was a great body shot landed by Ali just now. And that will slow Santana down a great bit.
Yeah, that's local guys helping each other, too. Both of them New York boxing products. And there's a sense that New York boxers in recent years, some of them have had some pretty good careers, but there hasn't been a great one in a while, and you'll find guys pulling for each other. Danny Jacobs and Saddam Ali were the best of the, not too distant crop of amateurs in the not too distant past.
Well, Saddam Ali has definitely hurt Santana with some shots here and slowed him down some. As you see, his attack is not the same as it was in round one. Still trying, though. Very big heart.
Roundhouse body shots by Santana, who now has a red mark above the temple on the left side. And here goes Saddam Ali with the right hand, under and over.
The right hand upstairs and that left hook downstairs, I think, really hurt Santana.
Another hard right hand by Saddam Ali, who's really coming alive in this middle minute of the second round. Well, Ali's proving right now that it's not terribly difficult to hit Francisco Santana if you can move your feet and set up at the right angle.
Santana stand right on him.
Let him out.
And pro boxing in a fight like this, Jim, is also it also gives you a chance to appreciate it, because a guy like Santana in the amateurs, because of Ali's quickness, would not really have a chance against Ali. That's why he would watch Ali in the later days of the tournaments. But in pro boxing, because of the 10 and 12 rounds, he does have a chance, and because of the smaller gloves, and he just landed a big shot or two big shots against Ali in that corner.
Yeah, Santana at that time boxing Ali into the corner and landing those big shots. He has power puncher's legs. Those are very big calves, even for a 154-pound fighter, much less for a welterweight, which is the way he weighed in yesterday for this fight.
Let's go.
Later tonight after boxing.
How big is this fight, George?
This fight is big. This is the super fight that we've been waiting for.
This is about pride. This is about dignity.
Something has to give. This is a great